Welcome to Changing Lanes for Hearts and King. I'm Hakima.
I'm Jerry.
And welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. This is our 4th episode.
I think so.
And in studio today, we have a special guest, Miss Marcy Ellis Richard. And I guess it took me a minute to say that because you're Marcy Ellis to us, but Richard, she just added. So congratulations.
Yes. Best wishes. We're going to say best wishes.
Yes. It'll be great. Second go around. I think this is going to be the keeper.
Awesome. You know what? We always learn from the first. So the second is always great. Right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I was going to knock on wood, but you told me not to bang the table.
Don't knock on wood either. She's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Anyway.
So welcome. If you guys are tuning in, watching us live, you also could check us out on our YouTube or WWDBTV on Facebook and also on YouTube. Also check us out on our Changing Lanes for Hearts and King Facebook page. Yep. We put our shows up after we usually shoot, so it's not really live.
But it doesn't have to be live.
Definitely send us a comment. Our chat boxes are monitored, so please join us and leave us something. This is definitely an interactive show. Right.
Yes.
So, Marcy, how are you today? How are you
feeling?
feeling?
I'm good. It's a beautiful Monday morning. The weather's perfect.
I know.
Finally spring. I'm great this morning, and I'm happy to join the two of you ladies.
Thank you.
You look beautiful, by the way. You always look beautiful. I love your style.
Shush your mouth.
She does have good style. So I need to tell you guys who Marcy is to us.
Yes.
So for years, I have worked with Marcy as a loan officer with one company first, and now you are with Cross Country Mortgage.
Correct.
Which was a big leap because you were with a really well-known, comfortable company, but because you made the leap, you're able to help more people do creative financing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a good move, but scary move. And the previous life was great, but sometimes change happens and you just go with it, right? That's what we changed lanes.
Change lanes. That's right.
So how did you and Marcy meet? Or matter of fact, let me ask Marcy. Marcy, how did you meet Jerry?
We met when you were with a previous realty company and I was the in-house lender there. So that's how that started. What, like 10 years ago?
Easily 10 years ago.
Easily 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly neither of us have aged since then, but yeah.
No, we all look the same.
Right.
So because I found Bondo for your face.
Jerry always talks about this stuff that she uses on her face to make her look alive and young right now.
That's right. I am alive and young.
Right now.
So, but no, Marcy, you definitely, I mean, because the company you're with has tons of people that work there. And I just look around and I mean, really for a long time, we had a very professional relationship. We didn't really talk outside of, I mean, it's just been like, I trust you with my clients. I trust you with whatever kind of mortgage that you can do. Cause there's all types, you guys. That's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. There's so many programs out there, and she makes me look really, really smart. So, and because you're creative and you know how to work different systems. And so anyway, but we're going to let you talk about that, especially, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to do, would you like to do first time home buyers, investor loans?
You know, I think kind of it's important to talk about it all because I don't think that there's one thing that's really more important than the other when it comes to lending. I mean, everybody's in a different spot. Everybody wants something different. So, you know, I think the biggest thing out there is that, you know, some people are afraid, oh, I don't have enough money, or, you know, I don't have an 800 credit score, or I don't have this. You know, it's worth trying. Like, we put people in homes all the time that, you know, they might have mid 600 scores or high debt to income ratios or high credit card utilization. It doesn't mean you don't deserve to own a home.
Right.
So, but to your point, there's so many products out there. And when I took the leap and moved across country, you know, we're really big in what we call the non-qualified mortgage space, which is like for self-employed people like yourselves, like, you know, like people who want to do rental properties. And we have those DSCR loans and we underwrite them in-house, which is big. A lot of lenders have them, but not a lot of underwriters do them, or lenders do them in-house.
And what's DSCR?
I was going to say that. That is debt service coverage ratio. So what that means is that we will get a rent schedule, and as long as the rent will cover the mortgage payment from an income perspective, that's all we need. So you know, we've got tons of cool products for self-employed people. We have bank statement loans where, you know, your tax returns may not show that you make 200,000 a year when that's really what you make, because you write everything off.
Right.
Well, then we're going to go by the deposits on your bank statements, and we're going to average those out. So we've got, I don't know, there's so many products under that umbrella, but there's really a good niche there, and I've embraced it. I think I closed 4 of those last month. So 4 people that couldn't have gotten into a home otherwise, I was able to put into a home because of these kind of quirky programs.
So I've almost gotten into a space where, and first-time home buyers especially, because they start reading and they get so excited and they're like, oh, but I can't, and I gotta, and wait till, and they have every excuse. And I'm like, just stop playing WebMD with real estate and call Marcy and see what she could do. Just make the phone call. And a lot of that is actually done online now, right? So you don't even, it's like,
it is. So what we typically do is start like an online pre-qualification form. And, you know, on the first home buyer note, like so many people are afraid to buy a house, and it's scary. I mean, houses have gotten expensive, you know. Well, I'm going to hit rate for just a quick second. If you look at what the average rate has been over the last 30 years, we're there. So rates are not high. High rates are double digit rates.
Right.
Like they're like late 70s rates. Those are high rates. Rates are pretty normal today, but we got so used to hearing 3%. And then there's a few lucky of us that got 2% and 4%. That's not coming back. So if you're waiting for those to buy a house, you're going to be waiting a long time. But because house prices went up and rates went up, it did get competitive for first-time home buyers. And it's a little scary to jump into the market. But we've got a ton of like no money down options, low money down options. And sometimes people think, oh, first-time home buyer, well, they think that they need something that they really don't need, because come to find out, they've actually saved enough for a down payment. And sometimes those first-time home buyer programs are really geared towards minimal down payment. So if you have money for a down payment, it may not even be the best product for you. So it's always great to ask the questions, because there's so much out there. And
everybody has to realize that money is a tool. And if you don't exactly know what you're doing with that tool, you need to go to someone at 757-560-6012.
Oh my God, you know it. I'm telling you, you know my phone number.
I'm telling you, I do it. That's how I do the contract. I put Marcy Ellis Richards at 757. I put it right in the contract every time with Cross Country Mortgage.
That is amazing.
Which is really funny, because I don't know your phone number. I know my mother's phone number, and I know my best friend's home phone number. I don't know Isaac's phone number, my son. And
wow,
because everybody's just in the.
But you know your loan officer.
I know my loan officer.
That's crazy. That's pretty bad. I feel very important right now.
I know. Well, and if you would like to call in and chat with us directly, we're at 702-992-3207. All right. Yeah. So, and I don't know that phone number. Aaron just held it up for me.
Right. So Marcy's phone number is important to have, because I know I've purchased a couple homes under you.
That's how we got to know.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Jerry with Hakima met Jerry. I met
full
Hakima.
Circle.
It's all full circle.
Right. So I don't know if you know, but how I describe you when somebody comes to me and like, hey, you're supposed to be the house guru. Can you help me buy a house? I'm like, I got to send you to my money team. And my money team is Marcy, because you know money, you know. Like you will know if I can buy or afford this house, and I trust you. And my loyalty to you is something outrageous, because when you're dealing with other loan officers, they don't know. Well, because I bought a couple homes with you. Like I feel like when you know, yes, and my daughter, yes. So you know us personally, because you know our financial situation, and you know what we can and cannot eat. And what we can and cannot afford. That's what I say when I say eat or overeat. But you make it comfortable. Like you have those real conversations, and you teach us stuff that we had no idea about. I tell people, when I bought my second house, I only made $56,000 going into my second home.
That's amazing.
I know.
But like that's a lot of money.
But you can't think about, like, when you're thinking about buying a house, especially as this is my second home, I didn't think that I can afford my second home, and then thinking it was my forever home, and then, you know, a 5-bedroom house at that. So that was I was so scared, but you're like, you got this, and everything that you helped me with, and Jerry did too, but Jerry's like, every time, call Marcy. Like, if I
do.
So you're making me sound really good.
No, you do. You are.
Well, this really is what happens behind the scenes.
Yeah,
when you're not around.
Yeah,
I'm like, just call Marcy.
Just call Marcy.
Just I don't know, and I'm to the point where I don't want to know how much someone makes. I don't want to like talk about it. It's like, I say, listen, you need to call, make sure you're comfortable with the payment, and then she'll flip it to what we need to shop for.
You know what? I think this would be a good time for you guys to explain, because a first-time home buyer don't actually understand a realtor and then a broker. Like what's the difference? Because I did not know when she told me call Marcy. At first, it's like, well, why can't you do it? But the realtor doesn't do that part.
No,
so if you could explain.
I usually say when I'm talking to people, if you can think about it this way, I'm the money girl.
Right.
So if it has to do with, if it has to do with your mortgage payment, if it has to do with how much funds do you need to close, what's the interest rate, like where's your down payment? That's my lane. If it has to do with the house, it's Jerry's lane. It's the realtor's lane. So you can't tell me, hey, you can tell me I want a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, but I'm not the girl who's going to find that for you. I'm just the girl that's going to say, yeah, you can afford it, and this is how much it's going to cost you every month.
Right.
So that's kind of where I try to.
Or you'll say, well, okay, you can afford a $200,000 house, and that neighborhood you're looking in is $600,000. So you need to stop shopping there,
right?
Because you're going to get your heart broken.
Yes.
So
yeah,
but I take
heart truth.
I really I love what I do, and I take this. It's all I've done. I've done it for 27, 28 years, something like that. I don't know. I kind of quit counting. But, I enjoy it. And I truly, when you say like I'm vested, I am vested. I'm not just a person who's on the other end of the phone who doesn't care. I truly do take stock in that. And I care about what's best for my borrowers and where they're going to end up, and that they're happy and that their experience is good, because it's a reflection on the people that refer me. It's a reflection. I made it this long because I do care.
You do care. And that's something that is hard to find. It's also really hard to find someone that cares and who's smart and who has programs. So that's why this is like here she is. The other thing that I really want to say to people, because I think as women in business, people expect warm and fuzzy all the time. So
yes,
but you're going to get on the phone with Marcy, and someday she's going to be really busy, or I'm going to be really busy, and we're going to just say yes, no, maybe, no, I'll call you in a minute. That doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're working and you're really, really busy. And I'm just saying that because of what people expect. And I even talk to other people now that are outside of, like my best friends that take days to get a story out of their mouths. But then people say that people that are speaking straight and quickly, you get like a negative connotation.
A code vibe.
And it's like, it's not. It's just that like and and you've done this, and you may feel that or you may not. You're just telling what's so. And that's the first step in all of this, is to find out what the first so is. This is where you get to start. So don't get anybody's feelings hurt if she's not going, oh, well, I have to tell you something.
I can't afford this house.
And you can tell on here, I talk fast in any scenario.
You do. You're like a northern personality.
Which is funny, because I'm not from the north at all. Not at all. I was actually grew up here.
Right.
But yeah, definitely fast. I don't know. My mind works really fast.
You do. You process quickly, and so again, and this is just total segue, because I get all kinds of comments, not about you, just about things in general. And I'm always like, people get so offended by the way we communicate sometimes, and it's not in any way, you shouldn't take it that way. That's all I'm saying. Because we'll get you through, or team gets you through. It's a process, and the underwriting is painful sometimes, but that's not her fault.
That's not my fault.
I know.
But you got so much knowledge, and that's what I trust about it. You know what you have to do, and you know how to get it done. So I love that.
Well, I always say, this business is all about, like, you learn from mistake, unfortunately. Right. But since I've been doing it since Jesus was a kid, I made a lot of mistakes, and, most of the big ones are in my rear view, and you learn from those. Right. So, it just kind of, you just continually learn, and you're like, oh, can't do that, can't do this. And, it all ends up working out.
So we have just a few minutes before we take a break. So give us like your favorite, I don't know, program that's happening right now that might be different from.
One of my favorite things that we do across country is our VA loans, because our veterans they're veterans. I mean, what
Especially
in the
if
world?
they're
Like,
losing,
you know, they
Oh,
keep us
yes.
safe, you
Yes,
know,
they
and
absolutely do.
so lots of things go into loans, but we on a VA loan, I don't necessarily care what your debt to income ratio is. And that's kind of a big deal. I more care what your residual income is. And I know I'm using mortgage terms, but that's really the only way I know how to say it. That's kind of like what's left over at the end of the day and or at the end of the month. And VA is a requirement for that. So we've been able to put a lot of veterans in homes, you know, under these higher ratio programs that maybe wouldn't have gotten into a home otherwise. So it's
Excellent.
probably one of my favorite things about, you know, here. I mean, again, there's a lot, but you asked for one. So I would
So
say
yeah,
that's probably
for one for now, because you do have many programs. So the VA loan, so residual income is what you have left over at the end of the month, and your debt to income with other loan programs is where you have credit card or car payment or I don't know,
like all your debt
all
together.
your debt
All your
compared
debt
to what
compared
you
to what you
make.
make.
So which that's what normal people like. You may have to get rid of a credit card or something on that nature, but so that's important to know that she can work with you on that. All right. So,
Well, yeah, well, we'll be back. We're going to take a commercial break right now, but Changing Lanes with Hearts and King will be back with Miss Ellis
Richards,
or Marcy, like we know her, and we'll dive into some things like to buy or not to buy. How about that?
Sounds
All
like a
right.
plan.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Shrimp Feast.
Shrimp Feast who?
It's the 46th annual Shrimp Feast hosted by the Kiwanis Club of Chesapeake.
Bring your family and appetite on Thursday, May 15th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. to the Chesapeake City Park.
Tickets are only $45, $55 at the gate.
Yeah, but discounts are available for children between 4 and 12 and kids under 3 are free.
Event sponsorships are also available.
To purchase tickets, call Aaron at 702-286-0063 or to become an event sponsor, contact Fred Woodall at 757-469-4945.
Kiwanis builds communities one child at a time.
Have you ever wanted to dress like a Hall of Fame broadcaster but didn't know where to begin? In 2018, Aaron Phillips was inducted in the Las Vegas Entertainers Hall of Fame, and The Voice was born. Aaron has been part of many successful podcast programs, and branding those programs plays a vital role. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and order the latest embroidered products featuring the logos of many of Aaron's shows. Discounts and flat shipping rates are available on all orders, regardless of quantity, on men's, women's, and kids' apparel, and many accessories. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and let Aaron's voice speak to you.
Well, welcome back to Changing Lanes with Hearts and King. I'm Hakima.
I'm Jerry.
All right, and you guys can catch us up on our Changing Lanes with Hearts and King's Facebook page. And before we went on break, we were talking with Marcy, and Marcy, we were talking about to buy or not to buy in today's climate of real estate. What do you think?
You know, I always think it's a good time to buy. I mean, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a loan officer and, you know, that's how I make a living. I mean, we all have to have a place to live.
We do.
And rent is expensive.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, and sometimes it's harder to find a rental than it is to find a house. So, you know, I think if you can take the plunge and you can stomach the payment, then you're always going to be happy, you know, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you're going to realize, why didn't I do this earlier? Because now your house is appreciated. And like you were saying before the break, you know, your second house, you made $56,000. I mean, who's upset about that? You know, you could have thrown $56,000 away in rent and helped somebody else gain some equity and money. So I think buying is always great. Plus, it's your ownership. It's yours. You can do with it what you want.
Right.
I have a question that came in the chat room, and I don't know if the person stuttered when they typed this or not, so bear with me. IRRL refinance for vets?
Yes, no,
Okay.
that's a big thing. That is the VA interest rate reduction loan.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
they did not stutter. They did not stutter. So
I
that's
knew the source. That's why I was just curious to make sure it wasn't the source.
no, that's a cool product for veterans. So once you own your house, let's say you bought and it was 7%, and now rates are 5%. They're not. So let me make that clear.
Let's go 9 and 7.
You bought at 9 and now they're 7.
Yeah.
Then you can do the VA interest rate reduction loan. It's a simple refinance, no documentation, no appraisal, very minimal cost. And you just basically take advantage of, you know, a lower rate and payment. The cool thing about that loan and all refinancing actually is when you do refinance, any costs that are associated with the loan, because there are some nominal cost, it wraps in the loan. So you don't have to take anything out of pocket.
You just go sign paperwork, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is a VA loan only for military?
It is only for military. So you don't have to be active duty, but you have to have served. So,
And is there a time limit on how long you have had to serve?
I should know the answer to that.
That's
It is
okay.
minimal.
I should-
Yes and no. But usually if you've been in the military for a year, you're good.
So the other question on VA lending that I have is a lot of people don't realize that you can do more than one property with your VA eligibility.
Yeah, not only
right?
can you, some people think it's a one and done. Not only is it you can use it multiple times, you can have more than one VA loan at a time. So there is what's called bonus entitlement. So like in today's market, if you want to buy a new house and you have a loan to sell, we use your bonus entitlement. And then that way you can buy first, then sell your current house, because that's kind of the climate that we're in. So yeah, we do that a lot.
So if somebody has a house, say California, and then they're coming over here and they want to rent that one out and they have a VA loan on that over there, can they purchase another property in Virginia with a VA loan?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's
Up to how many houses?
Typically the entitlement, it really is going to depend on price points, but typically the way the entitlement works is, and the way our houses are priced now, it's typically 2. I did just recently close one last month where it was he had 3 at one time. Now he had to make a small down payment, but it was better than putting a traditional 5% down.
From a learning standpoint, you were questioning how many days to have to be active. According to the information, minimum 180 days active duty to be eligible. So
80 days, and
Does
then you're
that count
eligible for a VA
boot
loan.
I think it does. And there's some wonky thing about wartime. That's why I back that up. I always have to look at that one, to be honest with you. It's one of those I have to kind of look
Did
at.
you go to boot camp?
No, I think, what's the age
I think
requirement? Can we look up the age requirement?
You're gonna go to boot
Let me
camp?
see how long it takes to go to boot camp. This sounds like an amazing thing.
It's a
especially
great
for our veterans, but
Right.
I mean,
I think
you think I aged out?
I think I know I've aged out, so I'm not gonna go there. Plus,
I don't know if either one of you go to boot camp. I want pictures.
the closest you're gonna get us to boot camp is to some thing in the backyard doing
Right.
sit-ups or something.
No,
how about getting in and out of the chair?
Right, there's that too. So
but I mean, these sounds like great benefits though. VA, and we in Hampton Roads, we have a lot of
Huge.
transient military.
Absolutely. I'd say 50% of the loans I do are VA loans. Yeah. So
and the other thing, so our climate in each market, this is important, and this is where I do actually come in. We have micro markets. So there's some markets that are really hot, so they're going to sell in a couple hours. There's some markets, neighborhoods that are going to take a couple days, and very rarely is it 30 days. But if it's been on the market, you have a chance to not only get your zero down payment benefit, but then I'll try to negotiate the closing costs for you. So back when it is a buyer's market, it's very you have a great chance of coming to the table with zero really to no money down, just depending on the situation.
And there's all sorts of ways, even if you're like, oh, I don't have any money, I can't put my hands on $10,000 or $5,000 or whatever the number is.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of ways that we can work that out. You'd be surprised how many people say, Marcy, I can't do that. I don't have any money. Well, did you think about, have you thought about like maybe doing a 401k loan, or have you thought about looking at your TSP options, or, is there a gift, or, then there's other creative things that we can do as well. So
it's just really important.
Yep.
And
that's why you need Marcy on your team. Marcy, Ellis, Richard, definitely you need her on your team because you're amazing and really creative.
That's right.
I like creative.
Really
yes, I will say
creative.
I am gotten creative over the years. Not in a bad way, but just thinking outside of the box. It's lending is people seem to think it's black and white. It's not black and white. It's all very.
Oh, but you are very creative. But I will say she's very ethical. And if something questionable comes up, because I'm always trying to be creative and go, what about, and you hang up that phone and I have to call. Let me see. And we did one the other day. I can't even remember what it was. It was for Zaire to make sure that she could buy in the same
neighborhood.
complex.
Yeah.
And she had to just make the phone call.
Yeah.
So you do the extra step. You really do.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that.
See
And,
what a blessing it is to have a good team because she's 25 about to buy her second home.
I know.
And
That's awesome.
Have these ladies to
Building a
think
rental portfolio.
Definitely.
I think it's amazing. She's going to be like you and have have a real estate empire.
Yeah, I know. In September, I wanted to close. I was trying to buy my mom's house and close on almost $600,000. And I know you were busy. You just gotten married. You had a lot of stuff going on. I think traveling, and you were like, like, you got to call somebody else. And I just didn't feel comfortable buying with anybody else. I tried it, but then it was like, if I had Marcy right now, we could make this happen. But since I didn't have you, I didn't trust him.
That darn new husband of yours. Anyway.
You know, it wasn't right.
That's a really rare thing for me.
Oh, very rare.
Right.
I mean,
Occasionally in
You
life,
work so
occasionally in
hard.
life, sometimes those things.
life happens.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of that, with life happens, you want to tell us about your life change that is impactful to.
Yeah, life change, right? Gosh,
Mhm.
like I've had a few in life. Probably my biggest probably life change it was more personal. It was almost 12 years ago. My mom was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and in 51 days she was gone. So I mean,
Wow.
it was very quick. Thank God there was not a lot of pain involved in that for her. I mean, physically. Mentally, it was horrible on us, but I mean, I didn't expect that. Like, I woke up one day and it like life just changed. If in my husband at that time, and I were actually getting ready to build our own home. We were getting ready to subcontract and build a home, and which was not something I wanted to necessarily be part of. I mean, that was going to be his job. We put that on hold after my mom passed. We started it. And my mom passed in October. I think we started like January, February. We broke ground on that. And then I found myself in June looking at divorce. I was like, wow, well, this is fun. I didn't expect that. And so again, life happened. And then I got the joy of figuring out how to custom build a house. So yeah, I had to subcontract and build a house by myself. And I was grossly underqualified for that. Grossly underqualified.
Wow.
So yeah, I was figuring out how to not have my mom. I was figuring out how to be a single mom. I was figuring out how to build a house. And I had a full-time job doing loans, and that didn't stop. So
what year about was that?
Well, gosh, it was 12 years ago, 2000, is that right?
So, which is funny because that's probably when we
Right.
and that we were talking about this the other day, that we were spazzing, but we didn't know that the other one was spazzing.
Right.
And
Remember, I
so,
started looking for a house in 13. I closed in 14. And I'm like, I didn't really have it together. Jerry, I didn't know didn't have it together.
and now come to find out you didn't have to get together, but we all made it work.
You fake it,
So-
you fake it till you make it.
That's
But,
right.
I mean, through that time I grew. I mean, that was the hardest 18 months of my life.
I bet.
But I realized like
imagine.
what a village I had. Like I couldn't have made that through that. My dad was amazing. I mean, there was literally one day where he picked me up off the floor and put me on my couch. I had great friends who helped me, and my best friend was we were at the house the night before it was going to sell, and we were literally on our hands and knees, like scrubbing the floors and cleaning it because it was just what you had to do to get it done. Right. And I had just people came out of the woodwork, people that I would never have expected. Contractors like took pity on me and were like, "Sweetie, you're way over budget here. Like, let's cut some of this stuff back and do this and do that." And I mean, it just was amazing, like how people are just genuinely good. There's so much bad in the world today, but I think at the heart of it that people are genuinely good, and we only hear about the bad. But it was definitely a time in my life where I could not have made it through without the village of people that I had, and I don't know. I learned from it. So here we are. All like life looks completely different.
It does look completely different for you, and I especially like coming through. We know that you're successful in your job because you work so hard and you have a great brain that can retain all the information that you retain, which is, I mean, seriously, like I always look up to people that, because I like get bits and pieces of things, but then I go, Marcy knows, I'll call her. Hakima knows, let me get her to do that. So I'm much better about, I have voids. I've got a big void right here. But anyway, my point is, I got the chills when you were telling your story, because once again, it goes back to your village. Like just what she said, your team that you put around you, the people that you have in your life that are going to hold up and support you. And this is our 4th podcast, but probably the 4th time that we've heard that.
Yeah.
So it's just, and she did not tell us what, I mean, seriously, I'm getting the chills. We did not talk about any of this. So this is all big news.
Yeah,
So.
we definitely appreciate you. Your story, that is amazing. Like, I did not know, and sorry about your mom.
Thank you.
And just having that village is definitely important. But before you leave, and here I am banging on the table. Before you leave, can you leave our viewers with some life advice, some great life advice? that you live by?
Wow, great life advice. Always follow your gut. Like that, I learned through that experience. Like you follow your gut. Like usually it's right. You know, sometimes we have to take risks, but we take calculated risk. And I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. We don't necessarily have to understand why it's happening at that time. I don't understand why I went through what I did, but I know what I gained from it on the back end of it. And I think sometimes we just have to have faith, follow our gut, and just know that all things happen for a reason. And it's truly going to work out. Like it always works out in the end. So
Faith
attitude
over
is
fear.
everything.
Attitude's everything.
Attitude's everything. That's important. I like
Yes.
that.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Faith over fear. I like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
faith over fear. Well, thank you for coming
Thank
to
you.
Changing Lanes with Hearts.
Yeah,
I love you,
thank
ladies.
I love
This
you.
was
I
fun.
love you very
That's
much.
come hang out with
You're
you
very
this
important to
morning.
us. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
We,
So you need a good money team, a broker that's also understanding and that's knowledgeable about her field. Definitely reach out to Marcy Ellis Richards. What's her phone number, Jerry?
757-560-6012.
6012. I feel like it could be a jingle now.
I know.
Like,
It
could
could.
I pop a jingle?
Yes. So
So phone number is 757-560-6012.
Yes.
Well, thank
So-
you again for
Thanks
joining us on
again.
Changing Lanes with Hearts and
That's
Keys.
fun.
You're always
Thank you.
welcome.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'll be calling you soon because I'll be joining the military and hopefully get.
You're gonna be in boot camp. You're not gonna have to go to boot camp.
Oh yeah, I gotta go do boot camp. I forgot all
Next, we're
about
going to
that.
do private Hakima and private Jerry instead
Yes.
of private Benjamin.
Right. Well, thank you. And guys, join us when we come back. It'll be me and Jerry. Marcy got to get out of here because you got to go help somebody else. But
I
we
do.
appreciate you for joining us on Changing Lanes for Hearts and Keys.
Injured in a car wreck in Virginia? Worried about insurance companies taking advantage of you? Attorney Nathan Bordegaray, founder of Bordegaray Injury Law in Chesapeake, is a former insurance defense attorney who knows the insurance company's playbook. With over 12 years of experience and over 100 combined jury trials, bench trials, and arbitrations, Nathan has recovered millions of dollars for his clients. Regardless of where you live in Virginia, Bordegaray Injury Law is ready to help. Call 757-505-HURT. That's 757-505-4878 or visit nbinjury.com today to schedule your free consultation. Allow Bordegaray Injury Law to tilt the scales of justice in your favor.
Have you ever wanted to dress like a Hall of Fame broadcaster, but didn't know where to begin? In 2018, Aaron Phillips was inducted in the Las Vegas Entertainers Hall of Fame, and The Voice was born. Aaron has been part of many successful podcast programs, and branding those programs plays a vital role. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and order the latest embroidered products featuring the logos of many of Aaron's shows. Discounts and flat shipping rates are available on all orders, regardless of quantity, on men's, women's, and kids' apparel, and many accessories. Visit thevoice.qbstores.com and let Aaron's voice speak to you.
Everything.
Hi, I'm John P.G. Stiles. Some people call me JPEG. You can probably guess why. I'm the founder and partner at WWDBTV. Does your business need a commercial, or do you already have one and you just want to get the message out there? Do you need a sizzle reel? Do you need an audition tape for a part that you're up for? Or have you ever thought about hosting your own show? Well, this is the place, WWDBTV.
Welcome back to Changing Lanes with Hearts and King. I am Hakima.
And I'm Jerry.
Yeah, Hakima King and Jerry Hearts. That's how we got the Hearts and King.
That's right.
But if you were joining us on our last segment, we were in studio with Marcy, who is a real estate broker.
She's a mortgage broker.
Sorry.
Mhm.
And she left us with like a story, like a message. So Marcy, if you guys were listening to our last segment, said back in 2013 she had lost her mom. She was going through a divorce and she was building a house by herself and also a single mom. And she left us with the message that your attitude is everything. You're gonna get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really important segue, I feel like. I mean, it was a very strong message into, segment 3. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and life today, because we really didn't have anything to really talk about, but attitude.
Well, we were talking on the phone before
We always talk on the phone in the morning.
Yeah, on the way here, and just talk. What is the book? What was the book that you referenced that you gave to a friend to read?
Oh, The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
The Power of the Subconscious
Yeah.
Mind. So it just talks about how you speak to yourself, how
Right.
you use negative words, negative phrases.
It's going to
See,
play out in your life. So you got to stay positive.
you do.
Yes.
And that, so your inner dialogue, and everybody just be quiet for just a second. Okay, it was just a second, and I bet you heard 10 words running through your mind. You know, there was nothing it wasn't quiet, you know,
Right.
unless you know how to meditate,
Right.
you know, it was not quiet.
Quiet,
So
right.
if you listen to all that stuff that's running through your head all the time, you can't believe it, number one. And number two, you have to train it to stop going. The problem is, unfortunately, well, that's a shame.
Right.
All
We
those
were
things
talking
like,
about that today.
you know, like that sucks. What you all those like stop using those words.
Right.
I can't. No, you're
Right.
crazy. Like stop it.
They said power is in the tongue.
It powers
So-
in the tongue, and it is absolutely true. It is in your language. So I'm banging on the table. I'm
Yes.
banging on the table.
So we were talking about refocusing, and I know sometimes I get into my mood or and I try to have a positive mindset because I read all these mind books, and I'm always like, if I get to a place where I say it's too loud, that means like my thoughts are too loud. I'm trying to focus and get refocused. I go to reading, right? I go to reading my book, my mind book, and it kind of gets me back into alignment with what my goals are.
Get recentered.
You know, recentered. Because I know all things are possible, and I tell people, because people are like, oh, like what is it? The privilege or the words privilege? Like people are like, oh, you think you're privileged or you're entitled. Well, you know, if you think about our faith and you think about what the Bible say, we are privileged and we are entitled to the blessing, right? And the overflow, because that is what's supposed to happen. Like we're supposed to be successful. God wants us to have all.
Right.
We're dominion over the earth, are we not?
Right.
And over all things. So what is that not the entitlement? The Bible say we should be entitled. We should be grateful.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Right?
No.
And,
Well,
you know,
and even if you leave, if you don't read the Bible, and if you're, there's so much there's so much goodness out there.
yes.
There's so much abundance out there. It doesn't matter. You have to look for that instead of looking for the lack.
The lack, right?
You
And when we
know?
say abundance, it doesn't necessarily mean money.
No.
Right? Because I think some of the richest people are just rich in spirit, rich in family,
And
rich
love.
in love.
That's right.
And it's not always about financial.
It's really about
riches.
relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, and our show is primarily about investing and money, because real estate is investing in money.
Right.
But it's also, again, money is a tool, and it is a tool to help you make your life better and easier on your relationships with other people. So you
Right.
have choice.
Right.
You know, so the worst situation that anybody can get into, male, female, young, old, whatever, is being in a situation where they don't have the money to get proper care, where they have to stay in a relationship that is terrible, abusive, or anything like that. So our point, I think, is that we try to give you the tools to get your investments straight,
Right.
so that you can have choice and much abundance and feel empowered, and definitely go with God. I mean, you know, we all need to have a spirit in our,
right.
You know,
And we try to bring you guys guests that have changed lanes. A lot of our guests are personal to us, and they have had those life-changing moments that they've gotten through it, and hopefully through their story bring you a sense of like peace and understanding that, you know, whatever you're going through,
you can do it. You can get through it. It's like you just gotta like keep going.
Keep
go
going.
as
You
quick
said
as
don't
you
look
can.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't look back. Put your head down and
just
get through it.
I know before our producer was holding up a sign, the possible, impossible, making the,
impossible.
what is it?
The word impossible becomes I'm possible.
Oh, that's
Right.
nice.
Right. And
Oh,
it's
very
all
good.
with attitude. It's just changing your attitude, telling yourself like I'm gonna get through this. I'm like the lifestyle you want, just picture it. Everything that you want, you can
Mhm.
have. Well, you just got to change your attitude
Mhm.
about it.
Well, listen, I just saw her look at my hair because it's
Jerry, you've been bringing up your hair. You're like, I got a hair appointment. I'm like, no, we got corporate housing issues after
yeah,
the
I
show.
gotta go fix a breaker.
yeah,
But so my hair turns yellow, and I always picture my hair dark, and I just have to go dye it.
picture your hair perfect.
I-
Let's do that. Picture it perfect.
I know. See,
Yeah.
this is the silly stuff that goes through my mind while we're
Right.
talking about serious stuff, but we got to keep it light. Because I will be the first to, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I get paralyzed. Like if I have a big issue, like something or too much going on, like you just said, you go to your books and you
Yes.
figure it out when it's too loud. When it's too loud
Yes.
for me, I tend to like get in my bed and look at the ceiling, and I get it. I have found that it's called ADHD paralysis, and it's very common in women. And I'm grateful that I read that. So because it made me feel normal. Because if when you just have too much and you can't breathe, but just knowing that makes me able to get up and just get a shower, do
And get
one little
through it.
thing, do one little thing every day. So, or not every day, every minute, like to make it better.
Yeah.
So, but I can't imagine what Marcy went through with her mom dying, building a house. She, and custom building a house. I've helped people with that too. Which my number is 757-754-6177. Jerry Hartz with LPT Realty.
I just love how you did your own commercial. Well, that's a good thing about having our own podcast,
I
right?
know.
You do whatever you want to do. There is no, what is it? People that could just turn our show off.
I know, right?
No censors.
No censors. I can say whatever I want to say.
But
I'm not gonna
we
say
try
it.
not to
try to
cuss.
keep it clean.
We do
Yeah,
because we're for kids too.
we are. We're kids friendly. So, guys, if it's anything you guys need, like we said, we want our show to be all encompassing of anybody.
Mhm.
I know we talk a lot about real estate, but life changes and life, the turns in the road that comes along with changing lanes and everything. But I know before I had to change a lane, I had to get my mind straight. I had to get focused, and just start thinking differently. And then,
And definitely read books on like The Secret.
oh yeah, that's my favorite. The
Yeah.
Secret.
I know my son actually started reading that with a friend of his.
Oh, so smart.
And
Isaac is such a smart kid.
I mean, these kids, one's 18 and one is 20. The 20-year-old is going to Tidewater Community College. He is selling Cutco knives. And, that is a job that is all referral based.
Yes.
So you basically harp on your parents and your parents' friends and whatever. And then from there, the person you're
I
giving
had to listen to it.
Right. But this kid, after he listened to this book, he in 2 months made like $30,000 in commissions because he just because he let go.
Just changing your mindset.
Change his mindset.
All
And
those
Isaac,
no's.
all those no's, he stopped the drunk monkey sitting on his shoulder,
Right.
saying, I can't. And he did.
I love that.
Exactly. And Isaac went from struggling last year. He was in a math class that was a little heavy for him and had to retake it. So last semester, it was his first semester at school. He was playing football. They have 6 a.m. workouts. I mean, this is no joke, his schedule that he works with. So he did make his grades so that he could stay on the team, but barely. And now he's like Dean's List. He's
awesome.
Doing it. He's did spring training with the team. He's going to go into his second year of college, and he's going to be a second string linebacker. So, and his mindset, his body, he had some hip issues, and instead of surgery, he's done lots of therapy. And I mean, it's like a torn labrum. So this is a big deal for a kid. And he's done everything that he's supposed to, and he just let go of any negativity, and his hips feel good. He's on the Dean's List, and I love that for him. Exactly. So it's all, but he could be sitting in his dorm room, just
woe is me.
I tore my labrum.
I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do that.
Right.
So the mindset shift, is so powerful. And in the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, it tells you how everything that we need is already in us.
Yep.
Right. And our subconscious mind, we train our subconscious mind to believe certain things. and a lot with superstition. Like, hey, remember the game you step on the bat or step on the crack, you break your mom's back?
Right. Oh yeah.
You say that enough times, like your subconscious will believe it. Next thing you
Oh
know,
yeah, you look at your mom, make sure her back's not cracked.
right. So it's important to train our mind, to train our tongue. I know, all my success came in the last 3 years after starting reading these books. I got another one that the power, what is it? The Game of Life and How to Play It, which is also
fun.
the subconscious mind. Is like the book is in that, and it's like 2 hours on YouTube. So, and I've had like 19 books what I call my mind. What do I call it? My mind food. That if like I get it
a little thing for everything. I don't have to do with food too.
I know. Because you got to feed your mind, because we constantly
have to feed
listen,
your
like
mind.
everything we listen to, like, people around us be negative. Like sometimes you got to cut people off as well.
You do.
But just listening to it, refocusing, it just got me to where I am, like just reading. And that's
wonderful.
been 3 years.
Well, listening.
I
know. I mean, like, I know
Yeah.
you read, and I'm saying it the wrong way because you
But
can
listening,
listen to
no,
podcasts.
yes, listen.
You took it in. You
Took
did
it in.
something with it.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yes. So I always teach people, like, if you're around me, just don't say anything negative. Like just look at it, do a like
different lens.
Different lens. Yeah, it had the glass is not half empty. It's half full if you actually look at it.
It really is. And then there's always a way around a problem.
Right.
It's really an opportunity. If you look at problems, normally it's an opportunity to overcome.
Right.
We're not talking about like if you have
right. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll dive deeper into the subject of just
your attitude.
Just change your attitude. So again, thanks for tuning in to Changing Lanes with Hearts and King. We'll be back.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Shrimp Feast.
Shrimp Feast who?
It's the 46th annual Shrimp Feast hosted by the Kiwanis Club of Chesapeake.
Bring your family and appetite on Thursday, May 15th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. to the Chesapeake City Park.
Tickets are only $45, $55 at the gate.
Yeah, but discounts are available for children between 4 and 12, and kids under 3 are free.
Event sponsorships are also available.
To purchase tickets, call Aaron at 702-286-0063, or to become an event sponsor, contact Fred Woodall at 757-469-4945.
Kiwanis builds communities one child at a time.
Hey everybody, I am Aaron Phillips. You are?
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDBTV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
Welcome back to Changing Lanes with Hearts and King. I'm Hakima King.
I'm Jerry Hartz. Welcome.
Yes. Jerry, you know what? At the top of the hour, I know we started with Marcy. But how was your weekend? What did you do this weekend?
Oh, I had a great weekend. I had a 2-day show among my many hats. I know my parents. So my sister back during COVID taught my parents how to make ornaments out of oyster shells.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I love them. Yeah,
yes.
they're very
beautiful. So my parents are in their 80s, and we keep them busy with these shells. So now they're kind of slowing down physically, and because I do things like at full bore all the time, lots of times kind of bite off more than I can chew. So this was a 2-day show.
What was it?
It was at the Chesapeake City Park, and it was like their spring fling.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually, I'm more familiar with Virginia Beach's Boardwalk Art Show, but it was like that. It was the size of it. So there are almost 300 vendors. It was huge. Beautiful weather. Well, the temperature was beautiful. The wind was absolutely insane. So, all the tents are, and so it was fun though. And Cara, who is my really daughter, she's a stepdaughter, however you want to put it. She's Dow's daughter, but so I get my bonus babies with her. She was there, and then my parents came. So it was just that was what we did. So how was your weekend?
So my weekend was very productive, I would say.
Mhm.
Just went in it with a positive mindset. Guess what? So I am thinking about revamping all my rooms. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a time, maybe a week of changeover from traveling professionals coming in. I mean, leaving and then coming in. So I kind of want to revamp each one of my rooms in my house. So I'm preparing. So I'm buying things. I'm visual, like, Pinterest and everything I do. Like when I'm looking on Instagram and I see like pictures of what I want,
Mhm.
like a more lighter area, just to change out.
It's
So
fun. Yeah, you get a
yeah.
point where, but that's one thing that I like about you too.
Yeah, just
'Cause-
preparing and visualizing it first.
Well, and you also don't like keep the same, like, when you go into a room managed by Hakima, it's clean, it's fresh. You don't have a comforter that's 10 years old in there. You don't have pillows that have been used for the last 6 years. You
Right, but now I want to kind of like get rid of beds. Like I mean, I have no reason to want to do it, but it's just in my mind. I feel like if I do this, then the next property will just come to me. So I'm just collecting now. I'm on Amazon.
you did
Is
that
at the
before.
I did
You
do it,
did. Your
I
whole garage
know.
was full, and then boom, she got another property.
Got another property, right? So I am doing that now.
So that just goes back to your visualization,
Yes.
your power of the mind,
Yes.
and your power just like go like that that's what's coming.
Right.
So you get ready for it.
And I just like with a friend, I just went and like redid his bedroom. I'm like, hey, you got to do your pictures differently. Let's just go get some new stuff.
So
for
what
your
can we
room.
call this instead of feng shui? We'll call it Kima shui.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me so happy. It's my happy moment, guys. I love like just new, like getting out with the old, and even though the old is new, just getting rid of the old and putting something new and fresh. And then it kind of just, like I said, I needed something to refocus, so it just helps me refocus and just get
Calms
ready
you.
for the next.
Definitely
Yeah.
calms you.
So, and I'm like, Zaire has a property that she's about to close on with you.
Mhm.
So I know she's like, Mom, I need your help. And I sent her stuff like, hey, here go some stuff I just ordered off of Amazon. Here go a link. You purchase your own. I need her to start getting ready to do the same thing I do, but like you can't depend on me to do it all. I like
No,
sometimes
but you do a great job about like teaching other people to fly.
Yes.
So
But I
here's
need
a
them to
link. You
take
can do
flight.
it. Yeah, you do.
Don't keep coming to me saying blow underneath my wings. No, take flight. You got this.
Blow. You just gave me a total visual.
Right.
So next time I'm curled up in a ball, I'm going to call you and be like, hey, somebody get a fan. Somebody needs to get under my wings.
Just blow. Listen, sometimes it's okay that you have that support system and
Yes.
you need that. But you, like you said, you teach them to fish. And I would be more willing to help if I see you already doing what you have to do.
Right.
Like, hey, Mom, I see that link that you sent me off of Amazon. I ordered those mirrors. I ordered these lights. Then it's like, all right, so there
I'll
she
come
goes.
help you hang them up.
Right. You know what I did the other day? I went to
Excuse me.
IKEA. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, my IKEA moment. You know I love IKEA. And then I got to take Kyle, which is the grandson of IKEA, and I let him just have his way, whatever he wants to do. Like just be free and just express yourself, and we just do our own thing. I know people get irritated by it, but what's wrong with it? If he wants to jump on the couch in IKEA or roll over on the bed to make sure it's comfortable.
God, she's our worst nightmare. You people. I'm sorry.
know.
Anyway, what happened at IKEA?
Nothing happened to that kid. I didn't. What we did was I start purchasing stuff for Zaire's condo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, hey, here, it's toilet brush cleaners and microwavable covers. That's the little stuff, but just me and Kyle had so much fun because that was our adventure. Because, by Wednesday, it's like, oh, we're going every other week. I get every other Saturday I get with him. And it's like, we're going on an adventure. We're supposed to look for airplanes, but we stayed in IKEA way too long. And I try to get him, there's got veggie hot dogs. And they're good. They say you can have about 20 and not feel like you ate a hot dog. Right.
Don't make me talk about hot dogs.
But it's a plant hot dog. And it wasn't bad. Kyle wouldn't eat it. Yeah, he just wanted his pizza, but he won't eat that hot dog. But it was good. I had a good weekend.
All right.
So to say all of that,
mm-hmm.
I had a very good weekend. And
productive.
Very
weekend.
productive. Yeah. So just going into the week, just a little prepared, a little got my stress is down to like a 4 right now. Hopefully I can get there to 2.
Yeah. Well, so, and we're not going to talk about your job except for that it's high pressure. So I'm glad that you get like 3 days to like decompress.
Yeah.
And then By the time, so she's got 2 days, then she comes. So by the time you get here, you're at a 4. By the time you leave here, you're at a 2 because you feel better.
Yeah.
Because this is what you love.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be a short week for me. So I'm taking off Friday, and I have a friend that's going to skydive.
oh, fun. Where?
No. Fun. He's going to do the skydiving. I'm just going to be there as a moral support. And also
to catch him if he falls.
No, we're going to sign a will before he do it. Like, get your life in order. Sign a will, because I offered to take you to Busch Gardens to go to do the. No, seriously. I mean, why not Busch Gardens on a roller coaster? He's like, I don't do roller coasters. So you want to jump out of a plane?
Which is so funny because I feel him. I would so much rather jump out of a plane.
Really?
My neck hurts after a roller coaster. I can't do roller coasters anymore, but I have not jumped out of a plane since Isaac was born because I felt like I was a mother and I was
jumped out one before?
Absolutely. And it is
really, Jerry?
so much fun. So much fun.
You're not going to convince me to jump out of
it
a plane.
It was the best.
I can see me Friday. Jerry did it, so I'm going to do it. No, I could do a roller coaster all day long. But I don't like. We're not. Did you fall hard? Can you feel yourself falling?
My cheeks were. You don't have fat cheeks. I've always had fat cheeks. Like always.
You see how a feather flies in the air? Did we not do that when you're coming down?
Heck no.
No, then I'm not doing it. You know,
you did after you pulled a chute, but when you're free fall, and I had a guy that knew what he was doing. I did it tandem style. So he knew what he was doing. I had another friend that talked me into it, and it was great. But you wear little goggles, and it's for the life of me, I cannot find it because I did pay for the DVD to find it because my cheeks are like up and flapping.
No,
it was so much fun.
Like, who wants to do it at 40?
I mean, I will do it at 80. If I get to turn 80, I will do it again.
No, I just want to go naturally in my sleep.
Well, I mean, it would be the quickest way to go, and I would be having a lot of fun.
No. Listen, if you want, I'll support you. Just I'm gonna support him on the ground. Let's do a will first, and let's talk about your life.
We'll get the will.
Let's talk about positive attitude first. That's why I told him like this. Let's start reading the Power of the Subconscious Mind, because I want you to have positive thoughts when you're hitting that ground. Not like, unfortunately,
I'm hitting the ground.
Right. Get that will sign. Let's get life together.
Okay, so talking about that, because we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Getting our will straight.
Yes.
Getting our all of our corporate paperwork. I mean, we're pretty good on most of that, but it could use some dotting I's and crossing T's.
Yes.
So let's make a pact that. What's the date of today?
Today is the 29th, is it? 29th?
Okay.
Today's the 29th.
April 29th.
28th.
So
28th. Sorry, guys. We're like a day ahead.
Okay, so by May, the 4th week in May, we're making a pact that this will be done.
But what about our pact that we need to do our taxes too?
Well, that's in there, but the will, I think, is more important.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we can have a tax day.
No.
We have time to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Not today, though.
No.
We have a lot to do today.
But yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're saying it online.
And set your goal, too. Like, if it's something that you got to do that you know in the back of your mind, like, I need to take care of this. If it's getting an LLC, getting incorporated, starting a business, spring cleaning, getting out and planting your garden. Yes, because today I'm gonna cut grass. But any of that stuff, let's make it happen in May. Make it happen in May.
May's making it happen month.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Sometimes you need an accountability partner, and that's what me and Jerry are good for. Because by the 4th week of May, I can see us like, I had too much to do. Me too. Like, it's okay. You know what? You work hard. You did it. You're good at that.
Done in June.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna do that. We have to get this because any minute.
You said any minute. I'm not jumping out no plane Friday.
You don't have to jump out of a plane, but people are dropping like flies.
You're right. And you know what I could see? Like, if it's your time to go, it will be your time to go. Like, I could see him jumping out, and if it's my time to go, he's gonna land on me. So maybe I should just be in the car.
Being a safe
supporting him.
You're gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
But he wants to do this at 40, and I'm thinking like, all right, it's his 40th, and if he wants
Does he have kids?
He has a 7-year-old. So yeah, like, all right, he wants to, but you know what? It's to come into life. Like, I had a coworker tell me like, hey, I'm turning 40, and they were feeling bad. I said, man, welcome to the land of the milk and honey, because 40 is the promised land, is it not? I mean, you did your time, but
28 was my favorite year.
You keep saying the 20s. I don't know about that, but 40. I'm just saying, welcome to the land of milk and honey in your 40s. You don't have to jump from a plane to feel alive. Your 40s are alive.
You do great.
Yes,
anyway,
you will.
we're gonna figure out what we're going to talk about next week,
Yes.
right after this. And we hope that you will join us.
Yes.
And thank you so much for being here. Again, Changing Lanes with Hearts and King.
And keep a positive attitude. Let's keep a positive attitude this week.
Faith over
All right?
fear.
Faith over fear.
We got this.
All right. See you soon.